Composite, made up of various parts or elements. I'll be using comp for short throughout the video, but let's look at how strong a composite Superman is. And that'll be considering all of his versions and feats. The ridiculous amount of people that don't understand how hopelessly broken the Boy Scout is are about to understand by the conclusion of this video. There's a lot to get through, so I'm gonna jump right into it. Warning, spoilers on the multitude of Superman comics, and therefore possibly indirectly some animated or live action plots. Too many to list, honestly. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more DC content. Real fast, we all know the Superman story. Krypton was exploding, Jor-El and Laura-El sent their son Kal-El to planet Earth, where he was found in Smallville by Jonathan and Martha Kent and renamed Clark Kent. Clark would later find he had immense powers and become the superhero Superman. The story changes slightly based on the version, but it usually stays more or less the same. It's worth noting the three main things used to hurt Superman, which are kryptonite, magic, and red sun radiation. You'll see why these won't work against a comp Superman. It's also worth noting that usually only kryptonite from a Superman's own universe can work on said Superman. For scaling and information purposes, you should know a few characters, places, and organizations. Monitors and Anti-Monitor. Monitors are godlike beings who watch over and maintain the multiverse. They can manipulate time, dimensions, and warp reality. The Anti-Monitor is the big bad that the multiverse was fighting in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Basically, monitors are multiversing up threats. Before the Crisis, there was one monitor named Mar-Novu who stalemated the Anti-Monitor for 1,000,000 years. The Anti-Monitors tanked the combined efforts of all the Lantern Corps, multiple superheroes, and destroyed infinite universes, stuff like that. The man is broke. Retcon, a multiversal organization that hijacks and rewrites realities to make entertainment for the eonymous, universe-destroying gods, basically us, the watchers and readers of DC Comics. The Phantom Zone, a parallel dimension created by Kryptonians to imprison dangerous criminals like General Zod, Bizarro, Doomsday, and Brainiac. For those that don't know, Green Lanterns are basically space police that have lantern rings, a weapon capable of pretty broken feats if their will is strong enough, since the rings are powered by, you guessed it, willpower. There are other rings, but the important ones now are Yellow Lanterns, who are powered by fear, Black Lanterns, who are powered by death, and White Lanterns, who are powered by life. The Highfather, the strongest of the new gods and the benevolent counterparts of Darkseid. Both him and Darkseid are top tiers in the DC-verse. The Source Wall. To sum this up, the Source can be viewed as the ultimate power, while the Presence, which actually won't be in this video past this part, is kind of like the wielder of that power. Since the Presence is actually the representation of the Judeo-Christian God in DC Comics, further backed by the fact that Michael and Lucifer are his sons, the Source can be looked at as the Holy Spirit. The Source Wall is at the edge of the DC-verse, serves as the barrier between the DC cosmology and the unknown, and is used to trap many high-tier characters such as Darkseid, the Anti-Monitor, Orion, and various new gods, amongst other characters. I should also note, a character called the Spectre serves as the wrath of the Presence. Cyborg Superman. Cyborg Superman is a suicidal immortal like Kaido from One Piece, who wants to die, which is part of the reason he is a villain to Superman and other DC heroes. His power is stated to rival Superman's, can control part of the Source Wall, could drain lantern rings when he had a lantern battery in his chest, and speaking of which, tanks a combined attack from Jon Stewart and Kyle Rayner. In a DC Marvel crossover, clashes with the Silver Surfer, hurts with a blast and KOs Steel, Eradicator, Supergirl, and Superboy. Mr. Mxyzptlk, which is actually the wrong way to say his name that I got from Super Friends, but the pronunciation of his name has been debated for years, and I'm not even about to try. We're just going to call him Mr. Mixie, which is his common nickname. He's a fifth-dimensional reality-warping imp with Tune Force that commonly is too strong for Superman to handle, and the only way Superman defeats him is by tricking him to say his name backwards, which banishes him back to the fifth dimension temporarily. And Zatanna, a high to top tier character in the DC universe who has broken the fourth wall multiple times. This is just to showcase her power. We won't be talking about this Zatanna, but I just wanted to let you know how strong she can get. Now let's get back to Superman. Silver Age Superman. You would think I would cover Golden Age Superman first, but you will see why I'm actually going to start with Silver Age Supes. This is the second Superman of Earth 1, debuting in July 1958. Back in the Silver Age, which was pre-Crisis, or before the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which started in 1985. He started hero work at 8 as Superboy, and as he got older, he became Superman. This Superman had random, uncanny, broken abilities to go with his broken strength feats. He destroys a star, throws another star that's trillions of tons, billions of light years away, drags a vast amount of planets to a new galaxy, pushes the sun towards Earth and has pushed the Earth out of the way of danger, throws Titano through the time barrier, and as many know, destroy the solar system with a sneeze. Durability feats include being unharmed after getting jumped by 4 Kryptonians, transmutation doesn't affect him, radiation that knocked out Wonder Woman doesn't affect him, and he's pretty much immune to electricity, heat, explosives, acid, and illness or infection. Some of his speed feats include running faster than light,
flying light years of distance in split seconds, overtaking light rays to see himself arriving on Earth, the destruction of Krypton, and Columbus discovering America. He can move so fast he can pose as Clark Kent and Superman simultaneously, is able to freely time travel to the past or future at will, and races the Flash in a 40,000 light year race. And lastly, some of his hacks or abilities. Creates lightning with his hands, can phase through objects. While not very impressive in comparison, he squeezes coal into diamonds, but he can also transmute diamonds into coal. While teaching college students, he creates lightning again, does ventriloquism, and ignores physics using balls to create a working nucleus model. Golden Age Superman. In a parallel universe in DC-verse, 30 years prior to Kal-El, who works for the Daily Planet, whom we just talked about, was Kal-El, reporter for the Daily Star in what is considered Earth 2. In real life, 20 years and 1 month earlier, in June 1938, when DC Comics was Detective Comics, back when Flash was Jay Garrick, not Barry Allen, Green Lantern was Alan Scott, not Hal Jordan. Even though she hadn't debuted yet, Superman's cousin was Power Girl, not Supergirl. He was married to Lois Lane, his love interest, instead of just dating her, and the heroes were the Justice Society, not the JLA, or Justice League of America. Furthermore, this Superman wasn't able to fly. He could leap over tall buildings and run faster than a speeding bullet. Golden Age Superman later got stronger and was capable of similar feats as Silver Age Superman. Golden Age Superman was even able to fight Silver Age Superman, with the two knocking each other out. This Superman was also willing to kill bad guys, or at least let them die, unlike Silver Age Supes, allowing villains to succumb to their own actions such as electrocution, poison, falling, and he even tried to take out Lex Luthor, his second arch nemesis. Golden Age Supes finished off the Anti-Monitor with a punch that could shatter stars. He has more strength feats, obviously, but they are mainly on par or below those of Silver Age Supes. A notable speed feat of his is performing a round trip of 5 billion miles with a detour to the sun added in 5 seconds. Golden Age Superman is unaffected by the god Mercury's sleep magic, tanks a subatomic death ray gun, he can shapeshift, can mind control various species. He can also hypnotize himself, which speaks to his level of hypnosis, uses his super ventriloquism to trick Kryptonians into fighting each other, knows pressure points, and can time travel as well. In November 1985, we got DC Comics Presents number 87, during the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Superboy Prime is the Clark Kent of Earth Prime, which is considered the real world. Earth Prime is basically our world, where superheroes are just stories. After cosplaying the Superboy, Halley's Comet passed, giving him powers, and he was transported to the comic world due to the events of the Crisis on Infinite Earths. He started off as a hero and becomes an antagonist for most of his appearances. This man is him, and he's actually my favorite version of Superman. He has similar feats to the other Superman, so I'll go over the special ones. During the Crisis on Infinite Earths, he helped fight the Anti-Monitor, surviving attacks from him and trading blows even when the Anti-Monitor had the power of over 1 million planets and all the energy the universe could supply. Red Sun radiation doesn't affect him like it does Silver Age Superman. At the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, he goes to a paradise dimension since his home Earth Prime was destroyed. Now we get to the fun stuff in Infinite Crisis. Superboy Prime is still in the paradise dimension and grows jealous of Superboy Connor Kent and punches through reality. You ever heard the statement, nobody stays dead in comics except Uncle Ben, Spider-Man's uncle over at Marvel? Well, it used to have 2 more names attached to it, one being Bucky over at Marvel again, who came back to be the Winter Soldier, and the other was Jason Todd, who came back to be Red Hood. The inverse reason for Jason Todd coming back in DC was Superboy Prime punching the dimensional barrier and changing reality. He one-shots Power Girl, defeats Martian Manhunter, kicks Krypto, almost beats Superboy Connor to death, punches his way out of the Phantom Zone, changing reality again, giving the Doom Patrol lost memories back, solos countless heroes between the Justice League, Justice Society, Teen Titans, and Doom Patrol. It takes 6 Flashes, Barry Allen, Bart Allen, Wally West, Jay Garrick, Max Mercury, and Johnny Quick to drag him into the Speed Force. Tanks magic lightning from Black Adam. Superboy Prime flew through a wall of 300 miles of pure Green Lantern willpower constructs created by the Lantern Corps, kills 32 Green Lanterns, beats Golden Age Superman to death, and almost defeats Silver Age Superman. He was imprisoned by the Green Lantern Corps. In the Sinestro Wars, he escaped and joined the Sinestro Corps, the Yellow Lanterns. Besides putting his hands on multiple superheroes again, he flies through and then throws an Anti-Monitor to another sector of the universe, tanks a blow from Red Star, who was emitting enough red sun radiation to melt a street, isn't affected when Firestorm transmutes a monument into kryptonite. In Countdown to Final Crisis, he captures Earth 3's Zatanna and forces her to help him pull Mixie out of the 5th dimension and tortures him and kills Zatanna afterwards, does damage to a monitor. In Final Crisis, Legion of 3 Worlds, he tanks a red sun radiation blast from Sunboy 3, survives being covered in kryptonite by Black Lantern Element Lad 3, and red sun radiation blast from Black Lantern Sunboy 3. He avoids possession by the Black Lantern ring, and his heat vision pierces Superman's hand. He was tricked into punching his future self with his reality-changing punch powers and inadvertently put himself back in the real world, Earth Prime, which had been reborn, where he was powerless. His family now afraid of him because they apparently read comics and knows he is one of the worst DC villains to exist. He then spends his time trolling and shitposting on DC message boards. He regained his powers and attacked DC offices, killing editors because he didn't like how they wrote him. Understandably so. In Teen Titans Volume 3, he is transported via wormhole back to the main universe, where he tanks more Red Sun radiation from Red Star. He gets jumped by the Teen Titans, who actually manage to knock him out and trap him in the Source Wall. In Dark Knight's Death Metal, Superboy Prime is freed from the Source Wall. At first, he returned to his old habits of turning superheroes every way but loose. He absorbed magic from Mr. Mind and de-transformed the Shazam family, save for Shazam himself and Black Adam. He KOs a Superman, changing his reality. He was then convinced by Wonder Woman to fight for the heroes against the final form of the Batman Who Laughs, the Darkest Knight. Superboy Prime trades blows with the Darkest Knight, hurting him multiple times, and is actually about to kill him when he is stopped by Krypto. Good boy. Finally, he redeems himself by staying in a dangerous future to fight Darkseid and protect the multiverse. Superman even gives him a Legion ring. Superboy Prime is him. Superman Prime 1 million. In 1998, the run DC 1 million introduced Superman Prime 1 million. The Superman of Earth 1, not Silver Age soups, but post-crisis soups after the crisis on Infinite Earths, outgrew everyone that he cared about, including his wife, Lois Lane. He then traveled the cosmos for 70,000 years and departed into the sun. 15,000 years later, he emerged with a Green Lantern ring to defeat Solaris and resurrected Lois Lane. Not to mention 10 billion thinking suns stand silent for the return of Superman Prime. Because the Superman has minimal feats, we have to scale and assume here. We can scale up from his original self, the post-crisis Superman who cracked Wonder Woman's sword with blood, fought on par with Golden Age supes, pulled the Highfather staff from the Source Wall, is able to speed up to talk to Flash in frozen time, and is faster than Jay Garrick, making him have to use speed steal on him. Now, in my opinion, we can assume he is stronger than the Superman we mostly see in this comic run. Some feats of Kal Kent, who is Superman 1 million, the Superman of the 853rd century, include holding back a galaxy with force vision, being able to break into the fifth dimension, punching the time barrier so hard someone 2,000 years in the future can feel it, can sense that he is in a time loop and is able to mentally break free from it, rewrites code in computers, immune to possession. His super breath can snuff out a red star, and claims to be able to disable a weapon in a nanosecond. So again, I'd say it's safe to assume Clark in this run is capable of everything Kal is, but that is assumptions. Cosmic Armor Superman, or Thought Robot. In October 2008, we got Final Crisis Superman Beyond, and in it we were introduced to arguably, but in my opinion, the strongest version of Superman. When Superman and Ultraman, the Superman of Earth 3, were fused into one consciousness and put into a robot to fight Mandrak, the evil Dark Monitor, Cosmic Armor Superman feels the narrative of the comic he is in progressing around him, can feel the reader's breathing, grip on the pages, and even reaches outside of the comic to try to touch the reader. Andy is above Limbo. Fighting-wise, he has a fight with Mandrak and is stated to grow stronger to match Mandrak no matter what. Cosmic Armor Superman was able to dodge laser beams from Mandrak and survive an attack that one-shotted another monitor. Strange Visitor Superman. In 2013, The Adventures of Superman Volume 2 dropped, and in issue number 16, Strange Visitor Superman debuts. This Superman existed for billions upon billions of years in a reality that many assume to be the sixth dimension, but is simply stated to be a reality more volatile than the fifth dimension. There, Superman evolved and gained different abilities. Before, the Supes blitzed Mixie, who was in the form of a statue of Clark at the time. Superman then enters the fifth dimension, and he then enters the aforementioned area and outlives everything in the universe. He divides himself into copies, holds the universe together with will and with only a fraction of his power. The copies become one and we get Strange Visitor Superman. Strange Visitor Superman can rip holes in space-time and outrun the death of the universe and survive. Milkman Man. In April 2018, Justice League of America and Doom Patrol had a special, Milk Wars, where Retcon combined the child of two women who don't exist named Casey Brink and Terry Nunn with the Superman archetype to make an imperfect copy of Superman named Milkman Man. This Superman is a copy of the Rebirth Superman of New Earth. Note, this Superman was the one that, after being charged by multiple suns, was able to punch the World Forger and crack the sixth dimension. Back to Milkman Man, besides being a copy of the Superman who did arguably the most broken canon Superman feat, he can also use his milk to alter reality. His milk made Batman become a priest who worships Retcon, and made Wonder Woman a subservient housewife of Steve Trevor. The rest of the versions don't have busted feats like the aforementioned, but they bring smaller comparison feats and abilities and statements to the overall comp Superman. Kingdom Come Superman can measure time in nanoseconds, is claimed to maybe be as fast as Wally West by Jay Garrick, tanks an attack from Hercules before sending him flying, after Hercules just sent post-crisis Superman flying. Highly resistant to kryptonite, claims to be stronger than post-crisis Superman and one-shots him, and the Spectre claims his wrath would make Satan cower, which is interesting because the DC verse does have Lucifer, who was a top tier in the verse. Ultraman, the Kal-El of Earth 3, is evil Superman who blitzes and one-shots Golden Age and Silver Age Superman, one-shots Dr. Fate after tanking a magical attack from him, and tanks kryptonite due to the general fact that kryptonite from other universes don't affect the Superman of the universe in question. Superman Red and Blue, a time when Superman split into two while fighting Cyborg Superman, have some unique powers including electricity-based abilities. They can travel through phones, immune to kryptonite, increase senses allowing them to see wavelengths, frequencies, and spectra unlike regular Superman, can phase through, damage, and repair the source wall, and can heal themselves after being disintegrated, cut by magic swords, and blowing themselves up. Superbat, the fusion of Superman and Batman with Green Lantern energy that I refer to as Superbat, has both Superman and Batman talking to him in his head, is able to fight Red Tornado, Firestorm, Wonder Girl, Martian Manhunter, Kid Flash, and Black Canary, and kryptonite is no longer fatal to the fusion due to Batman being a part of his physiology. And that is one of my reasons why kryptonite, magic, and red sun radiation wouldn't work on a comp Superman. There's so many versions that are immune to them, having multiple feats of outright ignoring magic and red sun radiation, and the rule that only kryptonite from the same universe will work on Supes. As we have seen in the fusion in DC, a weakness gets nullified with the fusion, not amplified. Lastly, Superman has had green, yellow, white, and Black Lantern rings. Most already know green is based in willpower and pretty broken in the hands of someone with strong will. Yellow rings are based in fear and serve as a weakness of the green. Black Lantern rings based in death can reanimate the dead amongst other abilities, and the White Lantern ring is the strongest, having life-based abilities and able to override the other rings, create life, and has access to the entire emotional spectrum in all their abilities. Black Lantern Superman was Kal-El of Earth 2, Golden Age Superman, resurrected by the ring's power, and Injustice Superman had the Yellow Lantern ring. Because this is mainly about Superman, I won't go too much into the specifics of the ring's powers or rankings. That's another video for another day. Those were some of the stronger versions of Superman in my opinion, but there are many more as you can see. Base Superman is already broken and it doesn't really matter which version you pick, but Composite Superman solos 95 to 99% of all fiction if you ask me. Let me know in the comments if I missed any top tier Superman feats, if you think all the Superman I mentioned should be included in a comp Superman conversation, and what fictional characters you think can beat comp Superman. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more DC content.